Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Reading from Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 1, entitled Genealogical Table of the Daughters of Manu.
हामीहरू अध्ययन गर्दैछौँ श्रीमद् भागवतम स्कन्द 4 अध्याय 1 अध्यायको नाम रहेको छ मनुका पुत्रीहरूको वंशावली.
Would you like to read the verses until the moment of purport? Okay. Because it's in Nepal. Oh, I'll read. We have English guests also, so we can read. So, reading text number 31.
श्लोक संख्या 31 इस प्रकार छ.
athāsmad-aṁśa-bhūtās ātmajā loka-viśrutāḥ bhavitāro aṅga bhadraṁ te visrapsyanti te yaśaḥ. Translation. You will have sons who will represent a partial manifestation of our potency. And because we desire all good fortune for you, those sons will glorify your reputation throughout the world.
तिमीले शक्तिका प्रतिनिधि स्वरूप हाम्रा विभिन्नांशी रूप छोराहरूलाई पाउनेछौ किनभने हामी तिम्रो कल्याण चाहन्छौ. ती छोराहरूले तिम्रो यसको महिमा संसारभरि फैलाउनेछन्.
Perhaps you are wondering who's speaking, who doesn't know the story.
जसले कथा भागलाई बुझ्नु भएको छैन, सोच्नु भएकोलाई कसले बोलिराख्नु भएको छ.
These are the three deities of the material world, Brahma, Vishnu and Mahesh.
यो चाहिँ भौतिक संसारका तीनटा देवहरू ब्रह्मा विष्णु र महेशले बोल्दै हुनुहुन्छ.
Okay. Text number 32. Evam kama varam dattva praditjagmu shureshvara sabhajitastayo samyag dampatyor mishyatos tata. The translation. Thus, while the couple looked on, the three deities Brahma, Vishnu and Maheshwara disappeared from that place after bestowing upon Aitri Muni the benediction.
त्यहाँबाट यसरी पति र पत्नीले हेर्दा हेर्दै तीन देवताहरू ब्रह्माजी, विष्णुजी र महेश्वरजी अत्रि मुनिलाई वरदान दिएर त्यस स्थानबाट अदृश्य हुनुभयो.
Text number 33. Sombud Brahmano Mishchena Dato Vishnustu Yogavit Durvasa Sankarasyaṅso Nibodangirsa Praja. Translation. Thereafter, from the partial representation of Brahma, the moon god was born of them. From the partial representation of Vishnu, the great mystic Dattatreya was born. And from the partial representation of Shankara, Lord Shiva, Durvasa was born. Now you may hear from me of the many sons of Angira.
त्यसपछि ब्रह्माजीको अंश प्रतिनिधित्वबाट चन्द्रदेव, भगवान विष्णुको अंश विस्तार प्रतिनिधित्वबाट महान योगी दत्तात्रेय र शंकर शिवजीको अंश विस्तारको प्रतिनिधित्वबाट दुर्वासाको जन्म भयो. अब तिमीले अंगिराका धेरै छोराहरूको बारेमा मबाट सुन.
Text 34. Shraddha Twangirasa Patni Chatasro Sutakanyaka Shinivali Kuhuraka Chaturt Anumatistata. Translation. Angira's wife, Shraddha, gave birth to 4 daughters. How many?
4.
Everyone's awake. Named Shinivali, Kuhu, Raka and Anumati.
अंगिरा की पत्नी श्रद्धाले सिनिवली, कुहु, राका र अनुमति नाम गरेका 4 छोरीहरू जन्माउनु भयो.
Text number 35. Tat putrav aparav astam khyatau svarochise ntare ut tatyo bhagavam sakshad brahmistascha brihaspati. Translation. Besides these 4 daughters, she also had another 2 sons, one of them known as Utatya, and the other was the learned scholar Brihaspati.
उहाँका यी 4 छोरीहरूका अतिरिक्त 2 छोराहरू पनि थिए। तीमध्ये एक उतत्य थिए र अर्का महान विद्वान बृहस्पति हुनुभयो।
Text number 36. Pulastyo jannayat painyam agastyam cha havir bhuvi sonya janmani dha ragnir visravascha mahatapa. Translation. Pulastya begot in his wife Havir Bhu, one son of the name Agastya, who in his next birth became Ragni. Besides him, Pulastya begot another very great and saintly son whose name was Vishrava.
पुलस्त्यले आफ्नी पत्नी हवीर भूबाट अगस्त्य नाम गरेका छोरा जन्माउनु भयो, जो अर्को जन्ममा जठराग्नि वा दावाग्नि बन्नुभयो। उहाँका अतिरिक्त पुलस्त्यले अति महान र सन्त छोरा जन्माउनु भयो, जसको नाम विश्रवा थियो।
Text 37. Tasya yaksha patir deva kuberas thwa ida vida suta ravana kumbhakarnascha tathan yasam vibhishana. Translation. Vishrava had 2 wives. The first wife was Idavida, from whom Kuvera, the master of all the yakshas, was born. And the next wife was named Keshini, from whom 3 sons were born, Ravana, Kumbhakarna and Vibhishana.
विश्रवाका 2टा पत्नीहरू थिए। पहिली पत्नी इडबिडाबाट यक्षका स्वामी कुबेरको जन्म भयो र अर्की पत्नी केशिनीबाट रावण, कुम्भकर्ण र विभीषण 3 छोराहरूको जन्म भयो।
Text number 38. And this one has a short purport by Srila Prabhupada.
यसमा श्रील प्रभुपादको छोटो तात्पर्य छ।
Pulahasya gatir bharya trin asuta sati sutan karma shastam variyangsang sahishnum cha mahamate. Translation. Do we have it on the board or we don't?
Yeah.
We have it? Okay. Pulahasya Gati Bharya Trin Asuta Sati Sutan Karma Shreshtan Variyangsam Sahishnum Cha Mahamate Pulahasya gatir bharya Trina suta sati suta Karma shreshtam variyangsam Sahishnum cha mahamate Pulahasya gatir bharya Trina suta sati suta Karma shreshtam variyangsam Sahishnum cha mahamate Pulahasya gatir bharya Shrina suta sati sutan Karma shreshtam variyangsam Sahishnum cha mahamate. Someone else?
Pulahasya gatir bharya Trina suta sati sutan Karma shreshtam variyamsam Sahishnum cha mahamate. Pulahasya gatir bharya Trina suta sati sutan Karma shreshtam variyamsam Saishnu cha mahamate.
Anyone else? Okay, thank you. Translation. Gati, the wife of the sage Gati, the wife of the sage Pulaha, gave birth to 3 sons, namely Karmashrestha, Variyan, and Sahishnu, and all of them were great sages.
पुलह की पत्नी गतिले कर्मश्रेष्ठ वरियान र सहिष्णु नाम गरेका 3 छोराहरू जन्माउनु भयो र उहाँहरू सबै महान ऋषि हुनुहुन्थ्यो.
Gati, the wife of Pulaha, was the 5th daughter of Kardama Muni. She was very faithful to her husband, and all her sons were as good as he.
तात्पर्य पुलह की पत्नी गति कर्दम मुनि की 5औं छोरी हुनुहुन्थ्यो. उहाँ पतिप्रति अत्यन्त श्रद्धावान हुनुहुन्थ्यो र उहाँका सबै छोराहरू पिता समान उत्तम थिए.
End of purport. Om Ajnanaatimirandasya Gnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Ragnathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Pulahasya gatir bharya trina suta sati sutan karma shashtam vat sang sahishnam cha mahamate. Gati, the wife of the sage Pulaha, gave birth to 3 sons named Karmashrestha, Variyan, and Sahishnu, and all of them were great sages. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So first let me offer my gratitude to His Holiness Mahavishnu Swami Maharaj for giving me this service, and to all of you for your hospitality, for inviting and encouraging us in our service of Harinam Sankirtan. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. सर्वप्रथम महाविष्णु महाराज प्रति कृतज्ञता व्यक्त गर्दछु यो सेवा अवसर प्रदान गर्नुभएकोमा. साथसाथै हजुरहरूको स्वागत सत्कारका लागि पनि हजुरहरूलाई धेरै धेरै धन्यवाद दिन चाहन्छु.
Hare Krishna. ISKCON Nepal ki
Jai.
Holiness Mahavishnu Swami Maharaj ki
Jai.
So to be honest with you all, Mahavishnu Swami Maharaj ki Jai. Actually, I'm very blessed to have the association of Mahavishnu Maharaj for quite some time. Actually, he was... It's part of the class, Maharaj, part of the class. It's something about the sons of Pulaha. Maybe you are one of them. But yes, when I first joined in a country, Ireland, I joined in a small island. There's a... I don't know if anyone heard of Inishath Island. It's called Govinda Dweep. And close to where I live, there's one devotee knocked on my door, and he gave me some books. He gave me Life Comes from Life and Science of Self-Realization. And after I read those books, I wanted to become a devotee. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Power of Srila Prabhupada's books. Srila Prabhupada said, I will live forever in my
books.
In my
books.
Yes, for the next 10,000 years. Excuse me. I feel at home.
वास्तवमा यो पनि कक्षाको भागै हो। महाविष्णु महाराज पनि सायद यहाँ पुला मुनिका महान ऋषि सन्तानहरूमध्ये कोही हुन सक्नुहुन्छ। साथसाथै आफ्नो बारेमा म चाहिँ आयरल्यान्डमा चाहिँ एउटा द्वीपमा बस्ने गर्छु। तपाईँलाई थाहा छ कि छैन, यो द्वीपलाई गोविन्द द्वीप भन्छ। यदि मेरो घरमा कसैले ढोका ढकढकाउनु भयो र दुईवटा पुस्तक लिएर आउनुभयो, एउटा चाहिँ जीवनपछि जीवन आउँछ र आत्मसाक्षात्कारको विज्ञान, र ती पुस्तकहरू पढेर चाहिँ आज म यहाँ श्रील प्रभुपादको संस्थामा आउने अवसर पाएको छु। किनभने श्रील प्रभुपादले भन्नुभएको छ कि म आफ्ना पुस्तकहरूमा छु। कहाँ छु? पुस्तकहरू।
What's your name? Keshav Govinda Prabhu ki. Shrutidar is a very good memory. You remember all that. Thank you very much. So yes, in this on this island, I stay there. I joined on this island. It's called Govinda Dweep. It's close to my house.
त मेरो घर नजिकै यो गोविन्द द्वीप भन्ने एउटा सानो द्वीप छ, त्यहाँ चाहिँ म इस्कनमा आएको थिएँ।
And after 3 months, they sent me out in Sankirtan van.
र 3 महिनापछि नै मलाई सङ्कीर्तनमा पठाइयो।
And in one of the devotees' houses we were staying in on Sankirtan, Mahavishnu Maharaj was visiting.
र एकजनाकोमा हामी यसरी सङ्कीर्तन जाँदाखेरि महाविष्णु महाराज पनि आइराख्नु भएको थियो।
So he was a very charming character.
उहाँको स्वभाव अत्यन्त आकर्षक किसिमको छ।
I'd never met somebody dressed in only orange clothes.
मैले केवल गेरुवा वस्त्र लगाएको कसैलाई त्यो दिनसम्म भेटेकै थिइनँ।
And so I understood that you have to ask a senior Vaishnava, a spiritual teacher, questions, spiritual questions.
र जब हामीले आफ्नो वैष्णव गुरुलाई भेट्छौँ भनेपछि उहाँसँग प्रश्न, आध्यात्मिक प्रश्न सोध्नुपर्छ।
So as he was chanting japa along the beach, I was asking him questions.
र जसै उहाँ समुद्री तटमा जप गर्दै हुनुहुन्थ्यो, मैले उहाँलाई प्रश्न सोध्दै थिएँ।
It was obviously too many questions.
अवश्य पनि धेरै नै प्रश्नहरू थिए।
Because he gave me a very difficult service.
किनकि उहाँले अत्यन्त अप्ठ्यारो किसिमको मलाई सेवा दिनुभएको थियो।
He said, "Can you do me a favor?
उहाँले भन्नुभयो, मेरो लागि एउटा कुरा गरिदिनुहुन्छ?
Can you look on the beach for a very special stone?
यो समुद्री तटमा एउटा विशेष ढुङ्गा खोज्नु न।
I want a black stone with a white cross."
मलाई कालो ढुङ्गामा सेतो क्रस लागेको चाहिएको छ।
What are the chances of finding on a mile-long beach a black stone with a white cross?
एउटा लामो समुद्री तटमा कालो ढुङ्गा जसमा सेतो क्रस लागेको होस् भेटाउने सम्भावना कति छ?
Practically impossible.
व्यावहारिक रूपमा असम्भवै हो।
But I found many.
तर मैले धेरै नै भेटाएँ।
And each one I brought back to him, I showed him, "Look, I found one, a black stone with a white cross."
अनि हरेक ढुङ्गा मैले भेटाउँथेँ र उहाँलाई देखाउँथेँ, हेर्नु त मैले भेटाएँ कालो ढुङ्गामा सेतो क्रस लागेको।
He looked like this, no.
उहाँले यसो हेर्नुहुन्थ्यो भनेर फेरि होइन भनिदिनु।
Has to be like this.
यस्तो खालको हुनुपर्छ भन्नुहुन्थ्यो।
And then he went back to chanting japa.
अनि फेरि जप गर्न थाल्नु।
I went back looking for the perfect stone.
अनि म चाहिँ फेरि त्यो ढुङ्गा खोज्न गइरहेँ।
I found 4 black stones with white crosses.
र मैले 4वटा कालो ढुङ्गाहरू जसमा सेतो क्रस लागेको भेटाएँ।
Each one was rejected.
र प्रत्येक चाहिँ मान्य भएन।
Mahavishnu Swami Maharaj ki.
जय।
And so over the years in Sohastri, I got to serve him and have many adventures. It was very great fun.
र वर्षान्तरमा उहाँको कयौँ सेवाहरू गर्ने अवसर पाएको छु र उहाँको सङ्ग गर्ने यो अवसर पाएको छु।
One thing about His Holiness Mahavishnu Swami Maharaj, he makes Krishna consciousness fun and easy.
जब महाराजको बारे महाविष्णु महाराजको बारेमा म सम्झिन्छु, उहाँले कृष्ण भावनामृतलाई आनन्दमय र सरल बनाउनुहुन्छ।
Mahavishnu Maharaj ki.
जय।
Srila Prabhupada ki.
जय।
So, actually, I don't, to be honest with you, I'm not, I was asked to give this class 5 minutes before the class. And so I'm not very familiar with the genealogical table of the daughters of Manu. I don't know by heart.
सत्य बोल्नु पर्दाखेरि चाहिँ यो कक्षाको लागि म तयार थिइनँ। 5 मिनट अगाडि मात्रै चाहिँ यो कक्षा भन्नको लागि मलाई बताइयो र यो मनुपुत्रीको वंशावलीको बारेमा मलाई त्यति जानकारी छैन।
And Srila Prabhupada has given a 2-sentence purport.
र श्रील प्रभुपादले केवल 2 हरफको तात्पर्य दिनुभएको छ।
In which he hasn't made a point.
जसमा उहाँले एउटा कुरा भन्नुभएको छ।
So the only thing I can think of is to ask if anybody has any questions.
त मैले भन्ने कुरा भनेको कसैको केही प्रश्न छ भने त्यो प्रश्नको उत्तर दिन सकिन्छ।
Sometimes as we're traveling around the world, we have this service called Ask a Monk Any Question.
विश्वभरि भ्रमण गर्दाखेरि हामीहरूको यस्तो सेवा हुन्छ कहिलेकाहीँ कि यो साधुलाई केही प्रश्न सोध्नुहोस् भन्ने.
So you sit in the middle of a town or a village with a sign that says Ask Monk Any Question.
र हामी सहरको बिचमा बस्छौँ र एउटा बोर्ड लगाएको हुन्छ, त्यसमा चाहिँ साधुलाई कुनै प्रश्न सोध्नुहोस् भनेर लेखेको हुन्छ.
You get many crazy people asking questions.
र अनेक पागल किसिमका मान्छेहरू आउँछन् प्रश्न सोध्नलाई.
And many sensible people also.
र कोही बुद्धिमान व्यक्तिहरू पनि आउँछन्.
So I ask you, there's a sign here, ask punk any question.
त यहाँ पनि एउटा बोर्ड लगाएको छ, साधुलाई केही प्रश्न सोध्नुहोस्.
We have 10 minutes before 6 o'clock and then we can have japa. His Holiness Mahavishnu Swami Maharaj ki.
Jai.
Yes, Maharaj. We learn. Oh, do you want to translate?
हामीले भगवत गीतामा सुनेका छौँ कि हामी यो शरीर हैनौँ. त्यसो नि यो वंशावलीको बारेमा के कुरा हो त? उसले यसलाई जन्मायो, यसलाई जन्मायो, यो त सबै शरीरको बारेमा हैन र?
Maharaj, for those you didn't hear who are English speaking, Maharaj is saying in Bhagavad Gita, I'm just repeating. In Bhagavad Gita, it says that we're not this body, and here we're hearing about the genealogical table, which is all about the material body. So what's that got to do with Krishna consciousness? Like this, Maharaj? Very good question.
एकदमै राम्रो प्रश्न छ.
Who has the answer?
यसको प्रश्न कोसँग छ?
I can offer an answer.
म एउटा उत्तर प्रस्तुत गर्न सक्छु.
When we're presenting Bhagavad Gita,
जब हामी भगवत गीतालाई प्रस्तुत गर्छौं,
we sometimes give the example of where we originate from.
हामीले यो उदाहरण प्रस्तुत गर्छौं कि हामी कहाँबाट उत्पन्न भएका हौं.
To establish that there is a supreme father.
यो तत्त्वलाई स्थापना गर्न कि परम पिता कोही हुनुहुन्छ.
So some people say that nirvisesha shunyavadi, you know these philosophies.
र जस्तो कि हामीले भन्छौं निर्विशेष शून्यवादीका सिद्धान्तहरू.
This is Prabhupada's mission to remove these two philosophies from our brain and heart.
श्रील प्रभुपादको उद्देश्य हामीहरूको मन र हृदयबाट यी निर्विशेष शून्यवादलाई हटाउनु हो.
He put it in his pranam mantra.
यसलाई उहाँको प्रणाम मन्त्रमा पनि राखिएको छ.
Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharane Nirvisesha Sunyavad Paschatya Desha Tarane. So Prabhupada came here for a mission to remove these two philosophies.
श्रील प्रभुपाद यी दुईटा सिद्धान्तहरूलाई हटाउने उद्देश्यका साथ आउनुभएको थियो.
Actually, it's the first point that Krishna removes from Arjuna's mind also.
वास्तवमा कृष्णले अर्जुनको मनबाट हटाउनु भएको पहिलो तत्त्व पनि यही हो.
If you go to the Veda base in the folio,
यदि तपाईले वेदाबेसमा गएर खोज्नु भयो भनेदेखि
on the miscellaneous,
त्यहाँ मिसेलेनियस भन्ने ठाउँ छ.
there's a list of 103 lessons from Srila Prabhupada.
त्यहाँ श्रील प्रभुपादले दिनुभएका 103 वटा शिक्षाहरू छन्.
He gives an analysis of Bhagavad Gita.
उहाँले भगवत गीताको एउटा बुझाइ दिनुहुन्छ.
And there's 48 lessons in Sambandha Jnana.
र सम्बन्ध ज्ञानको बारेमा 48 वटा शिक्षाहरू छन्.
52 in Abhideya Jnana.
अभिधेय ज्ञानमा 52 वटा छन्.
3 Prayojana Jnana.
र प्रयोजन ज्ञान सम्बन्धी 3 टा छन्.
And the first 5 lessons
र त्यसपछि पहिलो 5 शिक्षाहरू चाहिँ
are making this point about how to remove nirvisesha and sunyavadi.
यो तत्त्वलाई स्थापना गर्छन् कि निर्विशेष र शून्यवादीलाई कसरी हटाउने.
Because these philosophies, when they're in our mind and in our heart, we are atheistic or impersonal.
किनकि यी सिद्धान्तहरू हाम्रो मस्तिष्कमा या हाम्रो हृदयमा छन् भने हामी नास्तिक भन्छौं.
And by removing them,
र यिनीहरूलाई हटाएपछि
then our Shravanadi Sudachite Korya Udoya, our natural dormant devotion for God, becomes released or renewed.
त्यसपछि हामीहरूको हृदय भित्र रहेको कृष्ण प्रेम जागृत भएर आउँछ.
So sometimes people say there is no soul inside the body.
त्यसकारणले कहिलेकाहीँ व्यक्तिहरूले भन्छन् कि शरीर भित्र आत्मा छैन.
This is the philosophy of Charvaka Muni.
यस्तो सिद्धान्त चाहिँ चारवाक मुनिको छ.
He's like the original atheist.
उहाँ चाहिँ सर्वप्रथम नास्तिक हुनुहुन्छ.
Charvaka Muni says that we are just material manifestation.
चार्वाक मुनिले भन्नुहुन्छ कि हामीहरू केवल भौतिक पदार्थको मेल हौं.
And he says that consciousness comes about by like chemical alteration, chemical combination.
र रासायनिक प्रविधिबाट चाहिँ यो चेतनाको विकास हुन्छ.
And he gives an example also.
र उहाँले एउटा उदाहरण पनि दिनुहुन्छ.
Very logical fellow.
एकदमै तार्किक व्यक्ति हुनुहुन्थ्यो.
He says, don't think that just because we cannot see when we put combinations of matter together that life comes out. Because we cannot see, it doesn't exist.
कि हामीहरूले रसायनहरूलाई मिसाउँदाखेरि जीवन देख्न सकिदैन भनेर यसमा विश्वास नगर्नुस्.
Because it is a fact, we are just chemicals.
किनकि यो त सत्य हो कि हामी केवल मात्र रसायन हौं.
And in just the right atmosphere, consciousness will come out from dead matter.
केवल मात्र ठीक वातावरणको मेल भयो भनेदेखि जड पदार्थबाट जीवन निस्किन सक्छ.
That's his thesis.
यो उहाँको सिद्धान्त हो.
And the example he gives is of pan. You know, in Nepal they chew pan.
र उहाँले पानको उदाहरण दिनुहुन्छ. नेपालमा यहाँ पान खान्छ नि?
Yes, not devotees, of course.
अवश्य भक्तहरूले त खानुहुन्न.
But I hope. But he gave the example of when you mix lime, betel nut, and leaf together, you get a red substance, even though red is not in any of the constituents.
उहाँले उदाहरण दिनुहुन्छ कि चुनालाई, सुपारीलाई अनि पान पत्तालाई मिसाइसकेपछि
Jai Srila Prabhupada ki.
उहाँले भन्नुहुन्छ कि चुनालाई अनि सुपारीलाई र पान पत्तालाई मिसाइसकेपछि त्यहाँबाट रातो पदार्थ निस्किन्छ. यद्यपि तिनीहरू मध्ये कुनै चीज रातो छैन.
There's no red in lime. There's no red in betel nut or betel leaf.
न त चुना नै रातो छ, न त पान पत्ता नै रातो छ, न सुपारी रातो छ.
But when you chew them together, you get a red paste.
तर तिनीहरूलाई एकैचोटि तिनी साथमा चपायो भने चाहिँ रातो झोल निस्किन्छ.
And similarly, when you mix consciousness in just the right environment, life will come out.
त्यस्तै गरी पदार्थहरूलाई सही वातावरणमा मिसाउने हो भने चेतना अथवा जीवन निस्किन सक्छ.
Therefore, he has this Mahavakya: beg, borrow, and steal, but get ghee and enjoy your life.
त्यसकारणले उहाँको महावाक्य छ कि चोर्नुस्, लुट्नुस् र घिउ कहाँबाट निकाल्नुस् र खानुस्, मोज गर्नुस्.
And this is Charvak Muni, very logical atheist.
यो चारवाक मुनि हुनुहुन्थ्यो, अत्यन्त तार्किक नास्तिक हुनुहुन्थ्यो.
So this is Sunyavadi, everything is just zero.
त शून्यवाद भनेको सबै चीज शून्य हो भन्ने हो.
So then if you say, okay, we accept that there is a soul, but the soul is one with Brahman, then you have Nirviseshavad, which is impersonalism.
तर यदि तपाईले यस्तो मान्नुभयो कि आत्मा त छ तर आत्मा ब्रह्मसँग एउटै हो भनेर मान्नुहुन्छ भने यो चाहिँ निर्विशेषवाद सिद्धान्त हुन्छ.
And this is propounded by Shankaracharya.
र यसलाई चाहिँ शंकराचार्यले स्थापना गर्नुभएको थियो.
Shankaracharya says that everything is one.
शंकराचार्यले भन्नुहुन्छ सबै चीज एक हो.
He says the Atma and the Paramatma, same thing.
त्यसर्थ आत्मा र परमात्मा एउटै हो.
So like devotees just came from Rishikesh, preaching to the yogis.
ऋषिकेशबाट आउनुभएका भक्तहरूले योगीहरूलाई प्रचार गर्दै हुनुहुन्छ.
And in Rishikesh, many of the schools of yogi, they are impersonal, right?
र ऋषिकेशमा धेरै जसा योगीहरू चाहिँ निर्विशेषवादी छन्.
They teach Astanga Yoga, Hatha Yoga.
उनीहरूले अष्टाङ्ग योग, हठ योग सिकाउँछन्.
And the perfection is samadhi.
र त्यसको पूर्णता भनेको समाधि हो.
In that yoga process, when you come face to face with the Paramatma,
यो योग विधिमा जब परमात्मासँग देखादेख हुन्छ,
there's like darshan of Paramatma in the yoga process.
योग विधिमा परमात्माको दर्शन हुन्छ.
Then they say, Soham, that is me.
त्यसपछि उनीहरूले सोहम भन्छन्, त्यो मै हुँ.
They think they are the Paramatma.
उनीहरू लाग्छ कि उनीहरू नै परमात्मा हुन्.
And that becomes spiritual suicide. It's very sad, actually.
र यसलाई आध्यात्मिक आत्महत्या भनिन्छ. अत्यन्त दुःखप्रद छ.
Because they negate relationship with Paramatma
किनकि परमात्मासँगको सम्बन्धलाई उनीहरूले मान्दैनन्.
by thinking that is me.
उनीहरूले सोच्छन् त्यो म नै हुँ.
And then they get blocked from Bhagavan realization.
र त्यसकारणले भगवानको जानकारीबाट उनीहरू वञ्चित रहन्छन्.
So this Sankaracharya is teaching this.
र शंकराचार्यले यो कुरा सिकाउनुहुन्छ
I am God.
कि मै भगवान हुँ.
And he gives example also, very logical guy.
र उहाँले उदाहरण पनि दिनुहुन्छ।
He says, just like when you have sky inside a pot.
जसरी एउटा घडाभित्र घटाकाश हुन्छ,
So there's water inside this cup.
जस्तो कि यो गिलासभित्र पानी छ,
And it's only separated from the ocean by the cup.
र समुद्रसँगबाट केवल यो गिलासको कारणले छुटिएको छ।
But you remove the cup, then all the water becomes one. Om.
र यो गिलासलाई हटाइसकेपछि सारा पानी एक हुन्छ।
But he neglects to understand that this cup is full of individual molecular particles of water.
तर यो कुरालाई उहाँले मान्नुहुन्न कि यो गिलास पनि अत्यन्त साना अणुहरूबाट बनेको छ।
And this is not one cup of water, this is billions of tiny molecular particles of H2O.
यो केवल मात्र एउटा गिलास हैन, यहाँ फलामका कयौं अणुहरू रहेका छन्।
So it's a foolish proposition.
त्यसकारणले यो मूर्ख सिद्धान्त
So
हो।
these two philosophies, they block our relationship with Krishna.
त यी दुईटा सिद्धान्तले कृष्णसँगको हाम्रो सम्बन्धलाई रोक्दिन्छ।
They tell us we're just a body what will last 100 years.
हामीले यो शरीर प्राप्त गरेको छ 100 वर्ष टिक्छ।
Or that even if we are a soul, we're God.
या यदि हामी आत्मै भए पनि हामी भगवानसँग एक हौं।
So sometimes when we sit with a person to explain Krishna conscious philosophy,
जब कोही व्यक्तिसँग बसेर कृष्ण भावनामय सिद्धान्त स्थापना गर्न चाहन्छौं,
we can explain like you have a father, he has a father, he has a father, so there must be an original father.
हामीले व्याख्या गर्ने गर्छौं कि तपाईको पिता छ, उहाँको पनि पिता हुनुहुन्छ, उहाँको पनि पिता हुनुहुन्छ भने आदि पिता पनि हुनुपर्छ नि।
So this table, we can show them a whole long list of fathers going all the way back to Krishna.
त यो यहाँ देखाइएको सूचीबाट हामीले चाहिँ पिताहरूको सूची देखाउन सक्छौं जुन कृष्णमा गएर अन्त हुन्छ।
You can take this part of the Bhagavatam and sit down during prasadam with people and read the whole list.
र व्यक्तिहरुसँग प्रसाद खाँदै बसेर पुरा लिस्ट पढ्न सक्छौं।
You can say, come and I will tell you about your father, great grandfather, great great grandfather, great 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 grandfather.
तपाईहरु व्यक्तिहरुलाई बोलाएर भन्नुहुन्छ तपाईको पिता, तपाईको हजुरबुवा, तपाईको जिजुबुवा, परजिजुबुवा इत्यादिको बारेमा सुनाउँछु।
Great great grandmother, auntie, granda auntie, everybody's here.
र आमा, हजुरआमा, जिजुआमा, पराजुआमा इत्यादि सबैको बारेमा बताउन सक्छौं।
At the same time, give prasadam and chant Hare Krishna.
र साथसाथै प्रसाद दिएर हरे कृष्ण पनि
And then
जप्न सक्छौं।
nirvisesha shunyavadi paschatya deshatarne, all this nonsense will go out from the head.
त्यसपश्चात यो निर्विशेष शून्यवाद सबै उनीहरुको दिमागबाट निस्किन्छ।
That's the short answer, Maharaj.
महाराजको यो छोटो उत्तर यही हो।
So this helps us to understand we're not the body and we have a father and we have a father and a father and a father and a father.
र यसले हामीलाई सहयोग गर्छ बुझ्नका लागि हामी यो शरीर हैनौं, हाम्रो पिता 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 यस्तै हुनुहुन्थ्यो।
Okay, anybody else? So one more question before japa. Yes, sir. Hare Krishna.
It's connected with Vedic culture out of this Bharatavarsha, like at your place. It is amazing.
What are the places outside of Bharatvarsha connected with Vedic culture?
Yeah, that's maybe also a question for Mahavishnu Maharaj. Also.
Yes. Maybe
But actually,
Maharaj.
it's interesting. Maybe you also can give some examples.
Where Vedic culture is practiced and demonstrated
No, like what names even,
of places.
like your place, like Govinda.
Oh, Govinda Dweep. Yes,
Yeah.
there's very some. Prabhuji is asking, because sometimes you're here in Nepal, you think ISKCON, it's just a small community in Buddha Nilkant, chanting, dancing, distributing books. But of course, ISKCON is a huge, let's say worldwide, on these 7 continents, it's very prominent. Srila Prabhupada's grace, there's many temples all over the world. And the one I lived in, I mentioned, is Govinda Dweep.
र तपाईहरु प्रभुजीले त्यहाँ प्रश्न सोध्दै हुनुहुन्छ कि यो भारतवर्ष भन्दा बाहिरका अरु विदेशका देशहरुलाई पनि यो वैदिक सिद्धान्तसँग सभ्यतासँग कसरी जोड्न हामीले सकिन्छ होला नामहरुको माध्यमबाट या कुनै तरिकाले, जस्तो कि प्रभुजी चाहिँ गोविन्द द्वीपबाट आउनु भएको भन्नु भएको छ र प्रभुजीले भन्दै हुनुहुन्छ कि वास्तवमा तपाईले सोच्नु होला कि यो हरे कृष्णहरु भनेको केवल यहाँ बुढाले कण्ठको सानो ठाउँमा नाच्ने गाउने यहाँका भक्तहरु रमाइलो गर्ने भन्ने होला तर यो कृष्ण भावनामृत संघ इस्कन भनेको सारा विश्वव्यापी रूपमा फैलिएको छ र जताततै श्रील प्रभुपादजीको कृपाले सम्पूर्ण देशहरुमा यसका शाखाहरु छन् जस्तो कि म गोविन्द द्वीप भन्ने ठाउँबाट आएको छु
We went to many amazing places
र हामीहरु कयौं अद्भुत स्थानहरुमा गएका छौं
for Harinam Sankirtan Seva.
हरिनाम संकीर्तन सेवाका लागि
We went to Australia
हामी अस्ट्रेलियामा गएका छौं
in New Govardhan.
नयाँ गोवर्धनमा
We have in New Govardhan we have a Goshala, big Goshala,
र त्यहाँ गोवर्धनमा ठुलो गौशाला छ
big beautiful gear cows, you know, with a lump on their back.
र सुन्दर ठुलठुला गिर गाईहरु छन् उनीहरुको ढाडमा चाहिँ
Apparently, according to some scientists, these cows can produce gold.
र केही वैज्ञानिकहरुका अनुसार यी गाईहरुले सुन पनि उत्पादन गर्छन्
But I haven't done the experiment.
मैले यसको परीक्षण त गरेको छैन
And they have a Goshala, Gurukula.
र उनीहरुको गुरुकुल पनि छ
They have beautiful deities, Radha Govardhan Dari.
र राधा गोवर्धनधारी भगवानका सुन्दर विग्रह पनि हुनुहुन्छ
They have beautiful lake, Kunda there.
र सुन्दर सरोवर पनि छ
And they have devotees living. It's like 400 acres of farm.
र 400 एकरको फार्ममा भक्तहरु बस्नु भएको छ
They have big book distribution. They have yoga center there.
र धेरै पुस्तक वितरण हुन्छ योगा सेन्टर छ त्यहाँ
And that's something that would be really good here.
र त्यो यस्तो कुरा हो जुन यहाँ भए पनि अझै राम्रो हुन्छ
They have the yoga teacher training courses there.
र योगा शिक्षकको बारेलाई पनि तालिम दिने केन्द्र छ
So the people who want to do yoga like that go to Rishikesh, they can also come to Nepal.
त जो व्यक्तिहरु योगा गर्नलाई ऋषिकेश जान्छन् उनीहरु नेपाल पनि आउन सक्छन्
They have a yoga village separate from the temple.
र मन्दिरबाट छुट्टै एउटा योगा गाउँ बनाएका छन्
And all these people come to learn how to be a yoga teacher.
र यी व्यक्तिहरु आउँछन् कि योगा गुरु कसरी बन्ने भनेर
Brand new people.
भर्खर आएका नयाँ व्यक्तिहरु
They take prasadam 3 times a day.
उनीहरु दिनमा 3 चोटी प्रसाद लिन्छन्
And they go for kirtan programs every day.
र प्रत्येक दिन कीर्तन कार्यक्रममा जान्छन्
They pay a good fee for doing the yoga teacher training course from devotees.
र उनीहरुले भक्तहरुलाई चाहिँ त्यो योगा प्रशिक्षणको लागि पैसा पनि तिर्छन्
And that contributes to the upkeep of the deity seva.
र यसले चाहिँ विग्रह सेवामा सहयोग गर्छ
And every year they're making so many devotees
र प्रत्येक वर्ष उनीहरुले कयौं भक्तहरु बनाइरहेका छन्
from this program by devotee association.
यो भक्त संघबाट
Then you in Hungary we have New Vrajdam, Shivaram Raja's project.
र हंगेरीमा शिवराम महाराजले स्थापना गर्नुभएको न्यू ब्रजधाम छ
And they have beautiful Radha Shama Sundar deities.
र यहाँ सुन्दर राधा श्याम सुन्दर विग्रह हुनुहुन्छ
And they have a self-sustainable community.
र आत्मनिर्भर समाज पनि छ
Very simple living, high thinking.
एकदम सरल जीवन उच्च विचार
And then we went to Ukraine.
त्यसै युक्रेन पनि हामी गएका
In
थियौं
Ukraine, we saw something amazing.
युक्रेनमा हामीले एउटा अचम्मको कुरा देख्यौं
Before the war,
युद्ध भन्दा अगाडि
we went there. 2018, there was 7,000 white Hare Krishnas.
त्यहाँ 7,000 जना गोरा हरे कृष्णहरु थिए
You've probably seen the videos.
तपाईले सायद भिडियोहरु देख्नु भएको होला
But all in one pandal, chanting very loud, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama.
हरे हरे सब जना एउटा पण्डालमा बसेर जोड-जोडले महामन्त्र गाउँथे
It was amazing. And we went for Harinam along the beach, 100 devotees on the beach chanting, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
र समुद्री तटमा सयौं भक्तहरु चाहिँ हरे कृष्ण महामन्त्र कीर्तन गाउँदै गइरहेका थियौं
And then we came to Nepal, ISKCON Nepal.
र त्यसपछि हामी इसका नेपालमा
And
आयौं
we saw many enthusiastic devotees.
र हामीले यति उत्साहमय भक्तहरुलाई देख्यौं
Cooking, cleaning, worshipping.
कोही पकाइराख्नु भएको छ सफा गर्ने भगवानको पूजा गर्ने
We went to in downtown Nepal and we saw many devotees distributing books everywhere.
र शहरमा पनि तल शहरमा पनि गयौं र कयौं भक्तहरु पुस्तक वितरण गरेको देख्यौं
And many enthusiastic bhaktas dancing and chanting in ecstasy. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare.
र कयौं उत्साहमय भक्तहरु कीर्तनमा नाच्नुहुन्छ गाउनुहुन्छ
and taking lots of prasadam.
र धेरै धेरै प्रसाद पनि लिनुहुन्छ.
So there's many places.
त धेरै स्थानहरू छन्.
Yes, many places. Yes, Mataji. Hare Bol, Hare Krishna. Short question. What happened? Translate the question.
Okay. Mataji is asking this question that since Prabhu is coming from the Harinam Ruchi, so my question is also related to Harinam. Since we have promised before the spiritual master at our initiation that we will always chant 16 rounds and follow the 4 regulative principles and act according to devotional principles, but we hear from the Srimad Bhagavatam that this chanting should be swadu swadu pade pade, relishable at every step. But in the due course of time, we feel that we are not having such a taste in the holy name. Rather, we have taste in family talks or some other criticisms and this and that. So, how can we get the real taste of the holy name?
Very good question. Thank you very much.
धेरै राम्रो प्रश्न छ, धन्यवाद.
I'll think about it.
यसको बारेमा म सोच्छु.
1 second. No, I have an answer. 1 second. You want to answer or you want a different question? Actually, the word, you have 2 things. The word gossip, you heard the word gossip?
तपाईहरुले यो हल्ला
Gramya katha.
ग्राम्य कथा शब्द सुन्नुभएको होला.
Yeah, I researched this word one time.
यसको बारेमा मैले एउटा अनुसन्धान गरेको थिएँ.
It comes from the word God sibs, like God siblings, like God brothers and God sisters.
यो चाहिँ गुरु भाइ बहिनी हामीले भन्छौँ नि हैन, त्यसबाट आउँछ.
Gossip, God sibs.
गोसिप भन्छ, यो चाहिँ गुरु भाइ बहिनी भने जस्तो.
You can check in the dictionary.
यो अंग्रेजी शब्दकोशमा.
So, you want to be a God sib, God brother and God sister, or a Gramya Katha God sib?
तपाईले चाहिँ गुरु भाइ बहिनी भनेर बस्नु छ कि अरूको निन्दा चर्चा गरेर बस्नु छ?
It probably doesn't translate so well in Nepali.
सायद नेपालीमा त्यति मिलाएर गर्न मिल्दैन यो.
So, yes, in regards to your question about taste for chanting, Rupa Goswami explains the science.
जहाँसम्म हरिनाममा स्वाद आउनेको कुरा छ, यसको विज्ञान रूप गोस्वामीले वर्णन गर्नुहुन्छ.
Shat Krishna Nama Charitari Sitap Vidya Pitopatasya Rasanashina Rochikanu Kinta Twarad Anudinam Kalasaiva Justam Sadvikramad Bhavati Tad Gala Mula Hantri. It means that the holy name, qualities, pastimes, etc. of the name of Krishna are all transcendentally sweet like sugar candy.
भगवान श्री कृष्णका नाम रूप गुण लीला सबै मिश्री जस्तै अत्यन्त गुलियो छ.
But one who's infected with jaundice cannot taste sweet things.
तर जो व्यक्तिलाई जन्डिस लागेको छ उले गुलियो चीजहरुको स्वाद लिन सक्दैन.
One who has much ignorance in the consciousness can't taste the sweetness of the holy name.
जसलाई आफ्नो मस्तिष्कमा अविद्याले छोपेको छ उसले हरिनामको स्वाद पाउन सक्दैन.
But if you keep taking sugarcane juice,
तर यदि निरन्तर रूपमा त्यो उखुको जुस पिइराख्यो भनेदेखि
the sugar will treat the jaundiced liver.
त्यो चिनीले नै त्यो लिभरमा जुन जन्डिस लागेको छ त्यसलाई ठीक गर्छ.
And then the natural taste of sweetness will come again.
त्यसपछि चिनीको वास्तविक गुलियो स्वाद पाउन थाल्छौं.
The phenomenon of the disease of jaundice means when you take something sweet, it tastes like a lemon or bitter.
जब हामीले जन्डिस लागेपछि चाहिँ गुलियो चीज पनि तीतो लाग्न थाल्छ.
Similarly, when we have tamaguna in our consciousness, the holy name doesn't taste sweet.
त्यस्तै गरी हामीहरूको चेतनामा तमोगुण प्रवेश गर्यो भने हरि नाम पनि गुलियो लाग्दैन.
So how many modes of nature are there?
त प्रकृतिका धेरै गुणहरू छन्.
3. Yes? Ek, do, tin.
3.
What's the one of the modes of nature? Hands one. Suggest.
प्रकृतिको पहिलो गुण के हो?
Sattva guna, yes. Rajagun, tamagun, yes. Which one do you like the most?
तपाईलाई कुन मन पर्छ?
Haribo, Sattva gun, jai. So Sattva gun, if we realize that we don't have taste for the holy name, it means that we have some infection.
त यदि हामीले बुझ्यौं कि हाम्रो हरि नाममा रुचि छैन, मतलब के न के हामीले बुझिरहेका छौं.
So we have to check our environment.
त हामीले आफ्नो वातावरणलाई हेर्न पर्यो.
Association.
संग.
Are we living in a clean environment?
हामी सफा वातावरणमा बसिरहेछौं.
Are we performing activities favorable for devotional service?
के हामीले भक्तिमय सेवालाई अनुकूल कार्य गरिरहेछौं?
If we diagnose ourselves as contaminated with rajas and tamas, then we know that we have to move towards sattva gun.
र यदि हामीले चाहिँ ओहो मलाई रजोगुणले तमोगुणले छोपेको छ भनेर जान्यौ भनेदेखि हामी सत्वगुण तर्फ अग्रसर हुनुपर्छ.
In the Nectar of Instruction, Prabhupada says this.
र उपदेशामृतमा श्री प्रभुपादले यो कुरा वर्णन गर्नुहुन्छ.
He says our duty is to come to the mode of goodness by following the instructions of Rupa Goswami.
उहाँले भन्नुहुन्छ हाम्रो कर्तव्य भनेको रूप गोस्वामीका निर्देशनलाई मान्ने गरेर सत्वगुणमा आउनु हो.
And there everything concerning further advancement will be revealed.
र अन्य प्रगतिको बारेमा सबै कुरा त्यहाँबाट हामीले पाउन सक्छौं.
So we just have to get to the airport and the pilot will take us the rest of the way.
हामी केवल एयरपोर्टमा पुग्न मात्रै पर्यो, पाइलटले बाँकी उडाएर लैजान्छ.
The airport is like mode of goodness.
यो एयरपोर्ट भनेको चाहिँ सत्वगुण हो.
Spiritual master's instructions are like the pilot and the plane back to Godhead.
र गुरुका आध्यात्मिक गुरुका निर्देशनहरू भनेको चाहिँ त्यो पाइलट जस्तो जसले हामीलाई उडाएर लैजान्छ.
So if you're around people that are gossiping, tamaguna, and that means that you need to get people who are speaking Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam.
त यदि तपाईको वरिपरिका व्यक्तिहरूले चाहिँ परनिन्दा चर्चा गरेर बस्छन् भनेदेखि त्यो तमोगुण हो र तपाईले चाहिँ कृष्ण कथा गर्ने, कृष्ण कीर्तन गर्ने भक्तहरूको सँग गर्नुपर्छ.
Then you realize it was just like some sickness for a while.
र तपाईले बुझ्नुहुन्छ केही समयको लागि मलाई रोग लागेको थियो.
And then when you chant, it will be very nice in the association of devotees in the mode of goodness.
र जब जप गर्नुहुन्छ भक्तहरूको सँगमा बसेर तपाई सत्वगुणमा आउनुहुन्छ.
Is that okay, Maharaj?
ठीक छ महाराज?
Makes sense. Yes. Mataji, is satisfy your question?
माताजी तपाईको उत्तर प्राप्त भयो?
Gramya katha na kaibe. Okay. There was one hand up, but it's 6:20, and I know devotees want to chant japa, so. Prabhuji, did I answer your question?
एउटा हात त उठेको थियो तर 26 भइसक्यो भक्तलाई जप गरेर मन छ होला त्यसैले प्रश्नको सायद यही नै उत्तर होला.
Is it enough, Maharaj? Okay, thank you. Grant Raj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Sadhu Sangha ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, ISKCON Nepal ki jai. Mahaprasad ki jai. Please everybody come to the Prasadam Hall at 9:15 for a very important announcement. Mahaprasadam will be there.
No. 9:15 मा प्रसादम हुनेछ सबै
Oh,
भक्तहरू
Mahaprasadam ki. Wow. Oh, thank you very much. You have some milk or something? I can put a spoon. You want me to distribute this, Maharaj? Okay, Maharaj is here. You can have this one. Mahaprasad, okay?
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama.